Happy Friday!
Happy Friday.
Yeah, it's been a week, hasn't it?
It has.
Crazy stuff, yeah. Crazy stuff here every day. At least this month it has been, right, Jennifer?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you guys, hopefully you missed us. We've been gone away for a while. What, 3 weeks maybe?
Yeah.
At least 3 weeks. So we have lots of stuff to talk about. We've been saving it all up just for today, right, Jen?
Yep.
But yeah, thanks for joining us on a Friday afternoon, and we hope you're all ready for a weekend and you'll get some good rest. It was. Did you have a good Thanksgiving, Jennifer?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, we did too. We went to Littleton, Colorado, watched Silas play hockey. Won both of the games that we saw, and then there was one forfeit, and because of that, they did not get to play for the championship. Darn it!
Oh, man.
But it was all just as well because my son had like a trip from Littleton all the way back to Lincoln and had to work the next day, so a little bit much. All right, well, let's, without any further chit-chat, get into that 15-second spot of fame with our residential protection plan. The Residential Protection Plan by HonorBound IT is the best support and service for home computer users. You get top-notch antivirus, backup, and remote support. Plus, if you need in-store service, it's free. Visit us at 109 Norris Avenue, McCook, or call 877-686-6642. Your digital peace of mind starts here. All right, welcome back, and we appreciate that you stuck around after seeing that residential protection plan commercial repeatedly for the last, year?
At least.
Yeah, we got to come up with a new one, something at least a little bit more entertaining. Anyways, it's kind of been an exciting week this week because, I mean, typically at the end of the year, we have a little bit higher than usual computer sales. And this year has been absolutely no different, has it, Jen?
I think this year we've had a lot more than we did at least last year.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Particularly the all-in-ones. We sold, what do you think, a dozen maybe? All-in-ones?
At least.
Yep, Dell all-in-ones. We sell the Optiplex 7220. That's the picture that's on the thumbnail of the video for this for the show. And yeah, it's good, solid machine, workhorse. You know, we've sold a lot of them. We only sell commercial grade computers here. And in addition to that, we've sold quite a few laptops. I think I've only got one of each now, right, Jen?
I haven't looked at that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I only have one of each.
Yeah.
We'll get some more in, but this time of year, sometimes the availability gets a little bit less because there's more demand for computers at the end of the year. A lot of the businesses that are out there, maybe you made a little bit of money this year. I hope you did. But if you made a little bit of money and you don't want to give it to Uncle Sam, talk to your accountant, and if you have some shekels that you need to put to better use than taxation, definitely ask your accountant. But there are some depreciation, some 179 deductions where you can maybe reduce your income tax. But I am not an accountant, so talk to your tax advisor. They're your qualified tax advisor, not your unqualified tax advisor here. I'm a qualified computer guy. That's what I do best. But I do know that there are some benefits there. There's a few reasons that we probably want to consider if you have particularly an older machine and you're considering purchasing anything, whether it be computer or anything electronic. There is a possibility of some pretty steep discount or steep tariffs on stuff from the Orient, particularly China. and almost all computer equipment, fabs for semiconductors and the chips that make up computers and the various plastic, everything's like made overseas, most often in China for computers, because many years ago we outsourced, and there is near zero production for said type of equipment here in the United States. So the tariff number that's been floated is 60%. And I, just don't want to, be for sure that we're not talking politics here. I couldn't give a crap about them these days. I'm just disgusted with it all. But there are possible tariffs, and in fact, that is going to increase the price of whatever equipment that we have. There's going to be some tariffs that are going to be applied to Canada and Mexico as well. So even, those places that might be other places where we could get computers from. Yeah. So we'll probably want to be looking at purchasing prior to the new administration coming in. If you have a Windows 10 machine, we know for sure that October 25th of 2025, Windows 10 is going to be end of life. It's been around for a while. There will be no more support for patches and updates unless you want to pay through the nose for them. Did you read that anywhere, Jennifer, about being able to buy?
I actually did an article on
Oh,
that.
you did a blog article? Have I approved it yet?
I think so.
Okay. Well, I might
But
have.
it was
I
like-
read a lot of articles.
It's
So.
$60 a year for a home user.
Yeah, that's for the first year.
Yeah, for the first year. Yeah.
Yeah, and then every year it goes up like exponentially, right?
Yeah. But they normally don't allow it for home users, but they are going to this time.
Huh, I'll be darned. Yeah, but still, do you really want to pay 1.5 times the value of a piece of equipment?
Yeah.
So we've had a lot of folks like trying to get ahead of that. If you're a business and you have like a refresh cycle, purchase as soon as possible, because, not talking just to line my pocket. This is for your own good. Everybody wants to, spend as little as they can on, capital expenses, but keep the lights on and keep the business running. But you're going to be pretty soon competing with other businesses that are going to be scrambling to update their stuff. So, we had the COVID availability issue, and we've all been through that, where we had like, what was it, a year, almost a year and a half of limited availability of computers for sale.
Yeah.
That was because like nobody was working and making them.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to have a different problem where the demand is going to exceed. And you know what happens when demand is high? What happens to the price, Jennifer?
Price goes up.
Yep, it goes up because
Economics
everybody
right
has
there.
that. Everybody has that need to profit or make hay while the sun shines, so to speak. So yeah, yeah. They don't want to work harder to make more units, right?
Yeah.
Just put the price up and you get the same result in
Yep.
the bank. So do make those considerations, prior to the end of the year. It's very important, that you do. And that's anything electronic, and electronics are insidious things like cars, they're all computer controlled. So, if you're waiting around or kind of tossing around the idea, for the same reason, electronics is everywhere, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. Cameras, all our Sony cameras, they're made in Japan though. So there would be still tariff, because they're going to be tariffing every country out. I think it's 10%. At least those are the numbers that have been floated. It hasn't happened till it happened. But do you really want to take the chance? And I don't know if it can be done by one person or whether it has to go through an act of Congress. I'm not smart enough politically to be able to figure that one out. But anyways, yeah, it'll be what it'll be. you know, life will move on. The sun will still come up in the morning. And no, the sky is not falling. So yeah, in addition to that, we've been bringing on new clients, haven't we, Jen?
Yep.
Yep. I was just out to a new client there this morning. They went on the Microsoft 365 platform, which is really cool because you don't have to buy file servers, you don't have to, or any of that other infrastructure. We did put a good firewall on there. They do have managed network.
Mm-hmm.
It's another accounting firm, which I haven't got permission to disclose their name yet, but I'm sure they will give me ability to disclose their name. But a small firm, 3-person firm, but they need, security because they're protecting people's personal, private information. You give people your your account and your tax data. You want to make for sure that person has, good security in place, has good security protocols in place called a WISP, which they have to have now by law. So if you wonder if your accountant has it, make sure that you ask, do you have a written information security plan? And if they don't, just mention my name if you would, please. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, say no more. But they chose to standardize their service with the Microsoft 365 Business Premium as the platform, support plan, and network bundle. And our network bundles include failover internet because in some businesses you have a season, like we had tax season, right? It's usually the first quarter of the year. There's a couple really heavy deadlines in October, a few times of the year where, they have very heavy activity where, stuff just has to get in on time because people's depend on them to not get them fined or late fees of any kind. And who likes to pay those to anyone, especially the IRS? So it has that. We always provide that internet failover. So if your main internet goes down, and they're not all perfect. I mean, I've managed enough firewalls to know that sometimes in the middle of the night, Great Plains, for instance, will do a maintenance thing, and my phone will blow up with alerts. And it might be that it was down for 2 minutes or something like that while they're rebooting equipment or what have you. But sometimes that happens at an inopportune time, and sometimes it's not 2 minutes, and sometimes not in the middle of the night. Sometimes it's in the middle of the day, and we've had that before.
Yep.
Where even here we have internet outage with our main ISP. They're human. Humans run the thing. Humans made the equipment. Humans configured that equipment, and humans are all subject to fail and make mistakes. And equipment is subject to fail. So that's why we put internet failover, so that when somebody really depends on being able to run a credit card transaction, to be able to file somebody's tax return in a timely fashion, that it flips over to a secondary Verizon circuit. I have one, an OR Viero, I think we have here for a lot of ours. It'll flip over while that main circuit is down. When the main circuit comes back up, it flips back over to the main circuit. So, albeit your connection might be a little slower on the cellular link, you're not out of business. You're still able to work. So that's kind of like one of the standards that we have in our network plan. We just try to keep things very standard. We do very little client server work where somebody has a server on premise. In fact, I don't think we have any clients with a physical server on prem anymore. they're all in Azure in the cloud. And we help them set that up as well. One of my clients in Fort Collins moved all of their infrastructure because their applications required servers, but rather than purchasing new ones and hoping to heck that they bought the right thing for the next 5 years, they've decided they're going to go to Azure, where if they need more resources, we just bump up the memory, bump up the processor, what have you, based on what their actual needs are. If they have less people working there, we can scale it down. It's just a much better deal than actually having physical equipment on-prem. But we do for smaller companies as well. And we have brought on quite a few little security and shoestring companies, haven't we, Jen?
Mm-hmm.
This month, it's been like none other. We've had a lot of new SOS people come on, and we're geared. It's a little bit of a scaled down version, but it's basically everything that you need to run your company securely, and not spend $1 million or not spend, if you don't have much budget, or you have like 1 or 2 computers and you don't have any compliance requirements like an accountant or a lawyer, or a lot of the banks and all that stuff. We don't do any banks, but if you're an organization that doesn't have any kind of regulation on you other than having to pay taxes, it's a good, affordable, consistent service for your machines and your users. You can call us up, and we remote in, help you with whatever happens. And then by extension, we help people in the home. And home people have been long, what would you say? They've kind of got the short end of the stick in the support department, haven't they?
I've been working with a lot of them here lately.
Yeah, but not from us. I mean, I'm just talking in general.
Oh,
in the industry.
Yes. Yep.
Like you go to a store, you buy a computer, and they go, "Thank you very much. See you later. Here's your receipt."
Here you go. Figure out how to.
figure everything out for yourself. And home users are a pretty big target as well, because they don't often have the knowledge and the wherewithal to secure themselves, protect themselves. And, we get calls from our residential people all the time that say, I got this pop up on my screen, and it's telling them, do not shut your computer down. You're fraudulent. You're doing this, like all that scary crap on the screen with an 800 number. Call this number for fake tech support. So we got tired of people getting ripped off, and or just plain not having somebody to call. Like this afternoon, I had somebody called that it was something that I don't know how to email a scan that I made. I had to scan this and send it off, and I don't know how to do that. So what I do, hopped on, show them how to do it, teach them how, so hopefully they'll remember for the next time. That doesn't always happen, but we're happy to repeat ourselves. Sometimes for the 3rd and 4th and 5th time or more. But we would rather folks call us and get the help, and not, some people just don't remember this sort of stuff, and that's okay. That's why they have us, because we keep them out of trouble, and we try to make their computer experience as positive as possible. So yeah, if you're kind of considering doing something toward the end of the year, my dance card is starting to get pretty full. So do make sure that you get stuff booked in. We're really excited about our standardized Microsoft Business Platform. Again, we're eliminating file servers, improving people's ability to work together, and the left hand knowing what the right hand is doing, so to speak, and increasing their security posture at the same time. So, Jen, did you have anything that you've kind of seen on the bench? Anything crazy on the bench?
Only thing that I can think of is the family that lost their son that can't get into
Oh
their
yeah, yeah,
Microsoft
yeah,
account.
yeah. So yeah, maybe we want to talk a little bit. We don't necessarily need to talk about the situation,
Yeah.
but yeah, make sure that you have the ability to transfer or pass your passwords and the like to family members because they may want slash need information that if you're gone for one reason or another through death, or maybe you just got ill or what have you, make sure that your credentials are securely available to somebody else.
Yeah.
And for us, we have a password manager, and limited people know how to get into mine. But do make sure that you do that. Nothing's worse than saying, I'm sorry, all the pictures are gone
Yep.
when you're already grieving, you know.
If you
It's a
want
sad
somebody
day.
to be able to see your pictures
Yep,
or
exactly. And
important documents that they may need.
nobody wants to talk about this stuff, you know, and I don't want to talk about this stuff, but I think it's something that needs to be said, right?
Yeah.
You know, because we never know.
Yep.
Never know, time or hour. All right, moving on to more positive stuff. Oh, yeah, we had a couple laptops in, yeah. What else did we have? We had a backup. Oh, Swell battery. Yeah, that one was yesterday.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, had somebody bring in a laptop and they said, well, it's not charging up, so I cracked it open. That was the one that you backed up the data for so he could put it to a
Okay.
different computer, but he wanted to continue using the old one. Because the battery doesn't charge up, so I cracked it open, and sure enough, it was a swelled battery. If your machine is swelling, it's kind of like if your body is swelling, that's kind of a sign of some sort of ailment with a computer. It's the sign of a bad battery and perhaps a big fire hazard. So, yeah, make sure that if your computer is swelled up, that you bring it into us. We'll take a quick look and make sure that, you know, this, weird things happen. It might not be the battery, but we'll make sure that the dumpster fire happens here and not at your house. So don't wait on that, because we've had people say, well, yeah, it's been like that for 2 years. This is why they don't allow laptops in check bags. And I'm surprised they even allow them on planes now anymore.
I know.
You know, which would be terrible for me if I have to travel. All right. So, yeah, I guess let's start with we're going to add a picture here. This week we have a dog picture. Who
This
dat?
is my dog, Marley.
Yeah.
She's 14 and a half years old.
Wow, she's pretty.
Yes.
Yep, she's pretty. I bet you she's just a love too, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yep.
And when she was younger, we were at a pet store and there was a picture on one of the toys and swore it was our dog. Swore it was her.
Yep, she's a pretty girl. Happy days. Oh, good. And of course, we have to have a cat pic. This is the Kaida monster. She came with the name Kaida. She's like our kitten. She's the youngest. She's getting bigger. She's part idiot, part terrorist. So sometimes we call her Al Qaeda. But yeah, she's a little Kaida monster, and she pretty much lives on my lap when I'm at home. So if you got pictures of your animals, send them in. You know, we're happy to post your kitty pics or your dog pics. we love animals and think that the internet was provided to us for that purpose. So that we could Facebook and trash each other and have share animal pics, right?
Yep.
All right. Well, I think we've probably blabbed on enough and people have probably gone off and done other things. But if you're still here, God bless you. We're happy that you joined us this Friday afternoon. And we hope that you have an absolutely wonderful weekend. Join us next week for more incredible tales from Honorbound IT. Jennifer, how's your weekend shape up?
Have a confirmation tomorrow and birthday party on Sunday.
Oh. So Brady's getting confirmed?
Yeah.
Is he?
And then he has
He
his
is that
birthday
age.
the next day.
Oh my goodness. So 2 birthdays in a row, right? Does he get a new name too or something?
Yeah. He's
Wait.
Saint Hubert.
Saint Hubert. Saint Hubert.
He's
As I
the
say in French,
patron
yeah.
saint of hunting.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I did not know that. I learned something new. Not being Catholic, I
Yeah.
had no clue. Thank you for that. We'll be doing that Bethlehem tour tonight in Indianola. It's a kind of a drive-through thing. So if you have a few moments, I'm sure the folks would absolutely love. We got a couple angels in there. I think one looks a lot like Graceland, and the other looks a lot like Tara. So there'll be some angels there. She said she will take donations of hot coffee. So happy